Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video is about how to think more like a minimalist. So without further ado, let's just get into it. The first thing on thinking more like a minimalist is to change the way you think about food. Now I am talking about the whole binge eating. I'm also talking about the way you spend money and waste money on food. A lot of food in the US goes to the dumpster because as Americans we spend a lot of money on things that we are not going to eat in the long run. So what we do in order for us to save money and save produce is that we stretch out the food that we have. So for instance, we do buy the tiny cans of tomato puree sauce, and once when I open up one little tiny can, which is like 40 cents around there, we put it in one of our little glass Tupperwares, and when we decide to cook with that tomato puree is we add 2 tablespoons to whatever we're cooking and add some water and then some seasonings that we have in the house, and there you have it. We have a nice cheap stretched out tomato sauce. It's going to last us a lot longer than just using one big can or glass jar of tomato sauce. This is something that I can't really take credit for. My boyfriend actually showed me this a long time ago. He said he grew up with this hack when he lived in Dominican Republic, so I just think it's an awesome hack in order for us to save some money. Speaking with lasting a lot longer, when it comes to stretching out the food, we also put bread in the freezer. Now I know a lot of people aren't a fan of this, but this can actually save you a ton of money and it can save you a ton of produce. I don't know about you guys, but I used to work in a kitchen and I used to see how much bread actually went to waste each day, and I was talking like loaves of bread, and not just bread, English muffins and croissants, everything went to the dumpster because it had mold, because someone left the bag open or someone didn't properly seal the bag and it just either got hard, got mold, and it was just trash. I'm usually not a big bread eater. Well, I love bread. As much as I love bread, I try to stay far away from it because of the high carbs and stuff, but my boyfriend really likes bread, so when we do purchase it, he takes about 2 slices out, makes himself a sandwich, ties it back up, puts it in the freezer, and then he'll have it a couple days later. So he's not constantly eating bread every day, but he does put it in the freezer to last longer, so we're not throwing it out within a couple days from now. So that's the best way to think like a minimalist when it comes to the food situation. I know a little bit of a food hack kind of thing there, but it has helped us out tremendously. And I used to never think like a minimalist when it came to food. I used to think that you needed a bunch of seasonings to make one meal, when that's not the case. You can use 3 seasonings for a bunch of meals. You don't need 10 to 20 seasonings. You don't need a whole loaf of bread out right front and center. If you don't eat bread every day, you can put it in the freezer. So thinking more like a minimalist when it comes to your food can save you money, space, produce, etc. The next one is to change how you think when it comes to colors. I already know what you guys are probably thinking or saying. You're probably saying, yes, minimalist people love white, love beige, love all the neutral tones. And I want to say that's semi-true / not. But when it comes to colors, you want to change the way you think of it and not judge colors, because a lot of colors do certain things to an environment, such as us minimalist people do like lighter colors because what it does to our environment. As you guys can see behind me, our walls are white, my bed is a tan color, and all of these colors cooperate together and make this tiny little studio apartment look and appear bigger than what it is. If our bed was all black and our walls were all red, the place will look very gloomy and a lot smaller than what it actually is as well. Your eyes go straight to that bright color in your face, and it's not as settling as the whites and the tans and the neutral tones. Now, I'm not telling you to change your favorite colors. I'm just telling you guys to think differently when it comes to colors. Do not judge the neutral colors and do not judge the dark colors. And I want to put this in there that even though I'm not a fan of like the reds and the blacks for the house, I do think they serve a purpose outside of the house, the exterior more than the interior. So I do like the fact that some houses have a red door. I think it goes great with outside. I think some houses look great with the exterior color being black. I think those houses look so sleek looking. So what I'm trying to say here is that Think differently when it comes to colors, because every color serves a purpose, especially when it comes to your eyes. Most people do choose whites, tans, and neutrals. Well, most minimalist people do, because it opens up your space and makes you feel more calm and relaxed. Another way to think more like a minimalist is to start going around your house and asking yourself on each item in your house, does this add value to my life or my house? This is going to help you out tremendously, and this is going to create a decluttering habit. Now, I'm not telling you to go around your house every day, all day, asking yourself, does this serve a purpose in your house? What I'm saying is just go to one room and say, does this add value to my house? Does this knick-knack add value to my aesthetics or anything in my life? If the answer is no, time to get rid of it. Again, I know it's easier said than done, and I know decluttering and all that stuff can be such a touchy subject to some people, because all of us have different memories and different intakes of what adds value and what doesn't to your home. So do take that into consideration as well. So again, like I said before, do not judge others on what adds value in their home and what doesn't. If a piece of artwork or a statue in someone's home adds value to them and doesn't add value to you, then it shouldn't matter to you. Let that person decide what adds value to their life, because at the end of the day, it's their life. So just go around your house, start preparing your mind for decluttering without actually decluttering. So it's kind of like warming up your mind to declutter later on. And the last thing is probably the most difficult thing when it comes to thinking like a minimalist or being a minimalist, and that is the fact that you should not try to be perfect. You should not try to declutter your house in one day or 1 hour. You should not try to copy those Pinterest aesthetically pleasing pictures, because most of those things set you up for failure. You're trying to incorporate someone else's journey and someone else's aesthetic vibe into your home, when you have to create your own vibe and you have to take your own journey in order for you to realize why you are decluttering in the first place. And I'm telling you guys, I've been in your shoes. When I first got my old apartment and I was a beginner minimalist, I wanted a white couch. I searched up and down for a white sectional. I wanted my bed to be all white, which I did have a white comforter at a time, but obviously we don't have it anymore. But I wanted everything to be white and perfect because that's what I seen on Pinterest. And at the end of the day, you have to go with what you like and what you prefer, not what you see. You can definitely get ideas online, but when it comes to you doing what you have to do in your home, you have to realize that it's not going to be perfect. You have to take into consideration that it might not end up like the photo you see on Pinterest or Instagram. And sometimes there have been cases where you get your house to look exactly like that picture you've seen on Instagram, and then a couple weeks later, you end up hating it because it wasn't you in the first place. So do not try to perfectionize your home or your rooms or your car. You have to take your own journey when it comes to this. I've learned from my mistakes. I'm happy that I never purchased a white couch, and I'm happy that I purchased a tan headboard rather than an all white one. But that was just something that I had to learn for myself. So always remember, perfectionism isn't real. It's not real at all, no matter how much you try. You just have to be yourself at the end of the day. So there you guys have it. That is my little list on how to think more like a minimalist, and it all comes down to basically how you think and how you are incorporating certain things in your life. So there's no manual that you could purchase online or download an app on how to think like a minimalist or step by step. There's no such thing, because everyone's journey is different at the end of the day. The best thing you can do is whatever you can do for yourself and your family. So with that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video.